Live from the Quad Cities with Morgan Otier and Kyle Keel. This is Quad Cities Live.
Today on the show, opportunities for you to shop and support local businesses, including Daisy Lane Boutique in Parkview, which is hosting its grand reopening soon, plus other fun experiences we'll tell you about.
And this is the Putnam Museum. This is a group that knows how to have some fun, and you can join in on the fun. A little cloud making demonstration right there. The Putnam Guild will share their upcoming events with us.
And Camp Courageous is joining us too. They have a lot to offer year-round. A closer look today at their recreational, respite, and travel programs for individuals of all ages with disabilities. Welcome everyone to Quad Cities Live on this Tuesday, March 25th. I'm Morgan Otier.
And I'm Kyle Keel. Aren't you glad it's not Monday?
Yes. Oh,
this was not planned.
There, we didn't plan this. No.
But everyone's been commenting on it. Is it planned? No, it's not. But
no, we got our orange on today.
We got our orange on to match QCL. But you know, let's talk about a very important organization here in the Quad Cities, the Great Matters Collective, celebrating 6 years as a local nonprofit dedicated to mental health awareness and suicide prevention.
Yes, and today the organization is making a major announcement. We want to welcome Haley DeGrieve to the show, the founder of the collective. She is joining us in the studio. Haley, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back again. It's good to see you too.
Absolutely. So much to talk about with Haley today, but before we talk about what's next, let's talk a little bit about how far you've come. Give us a little bit of background on the Great Matters Collective, why you got started in the first place, and you know, kind of how it's grown.
Yeah, I can't believe that we're coming up on 6 years. I mean,
it's like quick.
Yeah, it really does. And you know, it's important work. I think every single day, right? We understand that mental health and suicide prevention, it's so needed. It's here, right here in the Quad Cities, and that's really why we do what we do. You know, we are really focused on trying to empower people to become advocates themselves, to understand what resources are available in the Quad Cities, how to talk to people about it. So we've been really focused on providing those educational opportunities, but I think now more than ever to really help people to understand that their voice matters and their life matters, and you don't have to go through any of this alone. There are people that care, and you know, I can give you 30 of them just off the top of my head from this organization, and it's really become a movement, but more than that, even so, a collective of people working together to make this world a better place, one person at a time, and that's all we can hope to do. So it's been a great journey, and we're grateful for that, but now more than ever we got to keep fighting, right?
Yeah,
and I think you've done a great job of trying to end that stigma around mental health and suicide, because I think people have a hard time talking about it, but you do a good job shedding that light on it. So, you know, we have you on the show all the time about all these different events that you hold. How does it feel to look back at the last 6 years, look back at all of these events and see the work that you've done with all these people in our community?
You know, I feel like it just keeps growing, and I'm really proud of the team, because we do have such a huge team of people. I think sometimes people just think it's me or 2 people or 3 people, but we have advocates all over the country, and we actually have advocates in other places of the world at this point that are marching the mission forward. It's really cool to see that. So for me, it's more so looking back and seeing the growth of the team and the advocates coming together and pouring their heart and mission into this, and also doing it in memory of lives that we've lost to suicide as well, and helping those families heal and come together and recognize that their stories still matter, and they deserve to be remembered. And so again, that's why we do what we do, and we'll continue to do that each and every single day until one day hopefully we don't have to anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you can only hope. What I think is truly amazing, just preparing for you to be on the show today, and going on your website and seeing all the different chapters that you have created. I mean, that in itself is almost astonishing. I mean, it almost feels like 6 years isn't enough time to do everything that you've done, but you have.
Yeah, and you know, you two are giving me too much credit here. Like I said, it's a team, and what's cool about it is, you know, we get students that come to us, or people from the community that say, there's a need in the ag community. Can I create an agriculture chapter? So that's a new thing that we're starting here in the next few weeks, which is really cool. But it's just really neat, because it really is people stepping up and saying, I want to own this. I want to move the mission forward. It doesn't just have to be me. It can be everyone in this space, because that's really what we're trying to do at the end of the day, is just be advocates and be good humans, and show people it's okay not to be okay, but you don't have to stay there, right?
Yeah, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and you help celebrate that. So let's talk about celebrating. You got 6 years. So how are you going to celebrate this year?
Yeah, so 6 years feels like a kind of weird number to celebrate, but we're celebrating every year, you know, because I think it's good stuff to celebrate. So this year we're trying to bring everyone together to have a little bit of fun, you know, because I think mental health at the same time you do have to have some fun, come together, talk about it, and have that community with you in that process. So next week actually we're going to have a big event on April 2nd, Wednesday, and the first Wednesday of every month we usually have what's called the You Matter series, and this one it's been rescheduled 2 times now because of weather and all kinds of crazy stuff. But
always because of the weather.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, you would know. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to bring everyone together to do some karaoke, share some advocate stories, and really just have a moment where we can celebrate, eat some good food, be together, and talk about the importance of mental health advocacy and what we can even do better here in the community.
Well, that's great. That sounds like a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And just reading through some of your information, reading that suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people. It continues to be a rising concern among working adults. So even if we can't make it to, you know, the You Matter series, what are some ways that we can all just be advocates?
Absolutely, yeah. Anyone can be an advocate. You don't have to be an expert, which I think is so important for people to understand, because a lot of people feel that they can't because I'm not an expert or I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, and that's okay. There's so many good opportunities in the community. We host all kinds of trainings. We just hosted an assist training a few weeks ago, 2-day, 16-hour course, but there's other trainings that we have that are 2 hours sporadically throughout the community, and these are national certified trainings, and you can get them for free. That's why we do what we do, is to offer these educational opportunities. But I think more than ever, just checking in on the people around you, you know, asking those hard questions. How are you really doing, right? Looking people in the eye, having compassion, and if you really feel that someone's struggling, it's okay to ask them, are you struggling with suicidal thoughts? Because entering into that conversation, asking that question, it creates a space for that person to say, yes, I am, and I need help. And of course, you're never alone in that. You can always call the suicide hotline if you are concerned about someone. You don't just have to call for yourself. You can call for other people. And that number is 988. 24/7, confidential, and it's free. So there are lots of ways that people can advocate. It doesn't just have to be coming to events. It could be learning about the resources and then promoting those in whatever way is comfortable for you and yourself. And if it's more personal, then even taking care of yourself. I think that's the first way you can advocate, really, is advocate for yourself first and foremost.
And like you've alluded to, people need to understand that it is okay to not be okay, and it is okay to reach out and ask for help. So May is a big month for you because it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So you're looking this May to do a ripple effect.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, I'm so excited, and this is the first time we're actually publicly announcing this.
There we go, right here on
I know, it's pretty
Love
crazy.
that.
It's amazing.
We're so excited that you're doing this. I've been seeing it on your Facebook page that, you know, the Gray Matters Collective has been hinting about a big announcement. So this is it, right? You're going to tell us about it. Okay.
Yeah, so May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and for the past year we've been talking about what can we do to really bring people together, and we wanted to do something really special. So we've been working with an amazing speaker who's honestly, I think, world-renowned at this point. His name is Kevin Hines. You may have heard of him. He actually attempted suicide by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge, and he survived. He's one of 5 people that can run, walk, talk after the fall of the Golden Gate Bridge. He is a living miracle, and he has dedicated his entire life since then to advocacy, to telling his story and helping other people tell their stories. And I just meeting him a few times, he is really one of the most down-to-earth advocates I've ever met in my life. He's genuine, he means what he says, and he is going to be here at Augustana College on May 17th in person. And what's really cool about this event is it's going to be free to the community. So anyone can come and listen to a story.
What has he meant to you?
Oh gosh, he's meant a great deal to me. I don't think I would be sitting here today if it wasn't for his story.
Really?
When I was scrolling on Facebook one day, I saw a video of him sharing his story with bipolar disorder. And I myself, I struggle with bipolar too. And seeing his story and the way that he spoke and his struggle with suicidal ideation, which I was going through at the time, it made me realize if he can tell his story, I can tell mine.
Oh my God.
And that was changed my life for the better, and I wouldn't be here without his story. So
it sounds like we need to hear what Kevin has to say. So again, that's May 17th at 6 o'clock at Augustina Hall at Augustina College. So be on the lookout for that. And if you want to look at mental health resources, or if you want to learn ways to get involved with the Gray Matters Collective, you can head to their website, thegraymatterscollective.com, and of course follow them on Facebook or Instagram. Haley, as always, we appreciate you coming on the show. Congratulations on 6 years. I mean, you and your team do very important work for our community and beyond.
You do.
thank you. Thanks for having me, as always.
Always. Still to come on QCL, a boutique in the North Scott area offering everything from trendy clothing to handmade gifts. We'll get details on a variety of upcoming events with Daisy Lane.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
In a little more than a week, a popular boutique in the North Scott area will be back open on weekends. Daisy Lane has everything from clothing to gifts with items created by QCA makers. And here with those details is owner Michelle Pratt. Michelle, welcome back.
Welcome, thank you.
Yes, we're so happy to have you back in the studio with us today and talking about all kinds of things. But we're going to start with the announcement that has already been made that you will be back open on the weekends starting the first weekend in April.
Correct.
That's wonderful.
Yep, back open Friday, Saturday, and Sunday every weekend.
That is
we're super
great.
excited.
Yes, I'm sure a lot of people are excited.
They are.
Yeah,
They are.
You're a popular spot to be. So tell us a little bit about Daisy Lane. When people come flocking to Daisy Lane, when you guys open there on April 4th, what can they find inside?
We have 20 plus different Quad City makers that hand make items in the shop, plus boutique clothing, anything from home decor to baby items.
Awesome.
Bath and body products. We kind of have it all.
Very cool. You brought some items with you here today.
We did.
We can also find you at various events in the area. In fact, you're going to be at Tioga Winery this week.
Correct. Tomorrow night from 6 to 8, they're doing a sip and shop. And I always call it Daisy Lane in the wild when you can find us out places. And we'll have a table set up there with, you know, not obviously the whole store's worth, but highlight some items there. Come have a glass of wine. They have really good wood fire pizza.
Oh, yes, they do. They're
so
amazing.
We're there tomorrow 6 to 8.
6 to 8. So something awesome to do midweek, kind of get you through the hump there. And this Sunday, the Spring Craft and Vendor Show. Now that's at Stony Creek in Moline. So is that kind of similar as where we would find you at Tioga? You just bring some of the items from the store with you?
Correct. Okay. We just have a booth there. We have 2 tables worth of stuff. And then there are some of the vendors that set up inside the shop, that sell inside the shop, that will also have booths there. So you may see more of a variety from a lot of them too. I think we have like 70 vendors at that event.
Oh wow, so it's a big event.
It's a good size event. Yep.
It's definitely something to make sure that you show up to, and there's no admission fee.
No admission fee.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
And you wrote that there will be a food truck there. So I think if you really needed that extra tiny little incentive, there's going to be a really good food truck there.
Yeah. We always like food trucks.
Mexie's food truck. So if you know, now you know.
Yeah.
So Ultimate Girls Day bus trip. This is something that you told me when you got here today. I mean, it's really popular.
It is.
So yeah, tell us about what that entails.
Okay, so this is our second go round with it. We're calling it our spring edition. We're going to go to LeClaire and Geneseo. There is 38 of us. We still have 2 seats left.
Oh my gosh.
On the bus, and we're going to visit those downtown areas, eat, drink, shop, have fun.
Oh my gosh.
It's just a lot of fun. We went to DeWitt and Maquoketa in the fall, and we just had a blast.
And you're going to go to LeClaire and Geneseo.
LeClaire and Geneseo this time. Yep,
so
for the
it's
spring.
just like an awesome girls shopping trip. You don't have to worry about who's driving. You just get the bus, and then there's plenty of room for all the stuff that you purchase.
Yep, we make sure there's plenty of room for all your bags and goodies that you purchase.
Yeah, it would be 50 people on the bus.
Exactly, that's
except
about
for
true.
we need room for all the purchases. That is very cool. Where did you come up with the idea to do something like that?
I don't sometimes know where these ideas come from in my brain, but I love helping other small businesses. It's a struggle, and I like patronizing them as best I can. So And as do a lot of women. So I was like, let's just get together and
I love
here
that.
we go.
Yeah, you definitely have a passion for it. I mean, not only with what you're doing with Daisy Lane and incorporating all these makers from the QCA, that is so supportive in itself, but then, you know, doing these events and making these trips where you're continuing to support local businesses and small communities. I mean, yeah, you clearly it's something that you're very passionate about.
I am.
Very
I enjoy
cool.
it. I
okay,
enjoy it.
you brought some stuff with you today.
I did.
And so tell us a little bit about it, because just in time for Easter, you're actually hosting one of your famous workshops at Daisy Lane. And so we can learn how to make one of these guys here.
Yep, you'll actually make both of them.
Oh
you
my
get to
gosh.
make 2 of those at our workshop for that. And we have all different colors of yarn, and that is the first Sunday in April. I don't know the date, but it's...
Oh, I've got it here.
Okay,
I
yeah.
am the one with the notes.
It's $20, and you get to make 2 of those. Deb is the maker that will be teaching that class. She's awesome at doing
Sunday,
that.
April 6th,
There you go.
if anyone's wondering, which will, of course, we'll get that on the screen for you right there.
There you
and
go.
We'll put it on our website. So Chunky Hand Knit Peeps.
Yep.
So you may not like how they taste on Easter, although I will say my daughter loves them. I don't know
funny.
that we're family anymore after I heard that. But they're so cute.
They
like,
are.
what a good
and
idea.
they're so soft and fluffy.
Yeah.
And you get to make both sizes and whatever colors you choose.
That's
so.
really, really
Yeah.
fun. So you can learn how to do that by registering for that workshop.
Correct, on our website.
On your website, okay. We'll make sure we show that at the end of the show. Other cool things that we can find in store. I absolutely love this t-shirt.
Yep, those are our coloring t-shirts and use sizes. You can color those either with permanent markers so that it stays, or washable. And then you
They
can
do
wash
it
it and they can do it again.
That
and
is
we have a
so
girl and a
cute.
boy version. Kids love those.
This is like what a great idea, like this Easter basket stuff. Like first you can make, your soft peep to put in the Easter basket. Then you can get the kiddos one of those shirts and they can really like incorporate some creativity there.
Yeah.
Really great ideas. So talk about a few of the other things that you brought today.
We also have over here are our, these are talking about the kids getting creative. They're DIY bath bombs. I'm sorry, I lost the name of them. So they paint the bath bombs. Also something cute to put in an Easter basket. We have an Easter egg or a Highland cow, which are super popular.
Yeah.
So we do have those, or something fairly new.
I'm going to try and get the glare off of it. There we go,
There
so
you
people
go,
can see it a little bit better.
Yeah, those are
What
fun
a
and popular.
Yeah, what a cute idea. And the kids, they love it. This sometimes a bath bomb is the only way that I get her to take a bath.
Yep, there you go.
So this is, this is the extra incentive for sure. Just so many beautiful things that you have and that you brought here today. And this is only a tiny little
very small
fraction of what
Very
we
small.
can find in the store. So that's very cool. And if you want to register for any upcoming workshops at Daisy Lane, so we've got the one where you can knit the peeps, but you do workshops.
We do other ones.
Yeah, throughout the year. So it's something to look out for on social media. If you want to sign up for the Ultimate Girls Day shopping trip where you get on the bus, there's only 2 spots left, so I would suggest doing it like immediately. For all of that, just visit daisylanens.com and you can find exactly what you need there. Michelle, thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you so
We
much for
really
having me
appreciate it.
again.
Yes, anytime, absolutely. Well, thank you. Coming up on Quad Cities Live, an important part of the Putnam Museum. Learn more about how you can be a part of the Putnam Guild. Next.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
The Putnam Museum and Science Center has a rich history in Davenport. It was founded back in December of 1867, known then as the Davenport Academy of Natural Sciences. Preserving all that history, of course, is no easy task, but that's where the Putnam Museum Guild comes in. Joining us now is Guild member Gail Hoff. You've seen her here before. Gail, welcome back.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes, we're excited to have you. So let's talk a little bit about it. The Guild was founded back in 1960, so it's a little bit younger than the museum itself, I would say. So describe for us kind of the support that the Guild provides.
Okay. Well, as you mentioned, we're in our 65th year of an organization, which I think is amazing in
That's something
itself.
to celebrate, yeah.
When it was started, it was basically women who wanted to show their support for the museum, and it's still that to some extent, but we love to have male members too.
Yeah.
We have 3 right now.
Okay,
3
well,
males.
let's
So
bump that
men,
up.
it's out there.
Gentlemen.
Come and join us. So yeah, we were formed to volunteer and to raise money. Those are our 2 purposes, basically.
Wonderful.
And to support the museum in any way we can. So we have lots of ways that you can get involved. Besides our monthly meeting, of course, there are volunteer opportunities in the museum. behind the scenes and in front of the public. You can,
You can do pretty
show
much anything.
wherever your talents lie.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things. I was
yeah.
reading about that on the Putnam's website today. There's probably like a dozen different jobs you could do as a volunteer. So here we're watching a video of you guys getting together for, I assume, one of your meetings.
Yes, so that was, so our meetings vary from month to month. We have half of them involving the museum staff and the other half are outside speakers.
Okay.
And so that was Lakin, one of the educators, and she was showing us some experiments that we could do in our own home if we so desired to do so. But yeah, it was great fun. Here we are behind the scenes, going back in the collection. Chris Castell is showing us some of the things that normally you wouldn't see. Yeah, there we are blowing that big cloud. Yeah.
That
really
is awesome.
Fun.
So
that scene is at the I think that was the dinosaur days. It was either that or it was the Polar PJ Party.
Oh,
yes. And that's so fun.
Yeah.
Have you been there to that yet? Not yet.
No, not yet.
Okay.
The Polar Express one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Very cute.
So we do face painting and that kind of thing, but there are so many volunteer jobs that you could do.
I can't get over this one. So this is a really cool opportunity. Anybody that's seen the Putnam come on the show before knows that there are so many artifacts that the Putnam has in its possession that people have never seen.
Right.
And just being a guild member and supporting the museum, this is a really cool way for them to kind of show their appreciation to all of you. I mean, what a great experience.
Well, and you may be aware that the museum is opening a new area called the Vault, and in that we're going to be bringing out some of the collection that is not normally seen. So that's really exciting. That's going to happen in a couple months.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, the guild was pretty much in charge of helping to keep safe and preserve many of those artifacts when you moved from downtown Davenport to up on the hill where you are right now.
Yeah.
So just talk a little bit about the importance of that. What an important job that was.
Oh gosh, well, you can imagine moving priceless specimens from one spot to another takes a very delicate hand, and it continues in the archives now, or back in the where the exhibits are, and that we take pride in that. And one of our missions, as I said, was to give raise money for the museum, and so every year we give an amount that's asked to help preserving the artifacts. This year we gave money to work in Big River Black Earth.
Oh yeah.
And so
which is back open.
It's back open. So so we helped fix some of the things up in there, and
that's great.
Yeah,
that's
way back
cool.
when we had Princess Diana exhibit. I don't know if you were living here at that time.
I'm not sure. I feel like I've heard all about it. So.
We were able to give $50,000 to the museum.
That's amazing.
To bring that exhibit to the Quad Cities.
That's wonderful.
We are a great organization, and I have to tell you, I think I've mentioned this before, we are the best deal in town. $10 a year.
A year
is
to
our
be a member of the guild.
And with that $10, you get all of that.
all those perks.
All those cookies and coffee.
And then really cool meetings. Speaking of, before I could chat with you all day, before we run out of time, Travels in Tibet is
that's our
the next meeting, which is the one that's this week.
Thursday at 1 o'clock, right.
Okay, and Music and Stories on April 24th, so that will be April's meeting.
And that is the Front Door Pickers. If anyone has ever heard them play, it's a group of people. There's guitars, there's banjos, there's a bass.
Oh yeah.
Piano maybe, I can't remember now. But we've had them in April as just a real great tribute to the Midwest.
Just going to a meeting and getting to see some live music happen.
Yeah. So, and then our last meeting of the year is always a luncheon, and this year it's at Machine Shed. So I want to mention, our meetings are open to the public. Of course, we hope that once you come, you say, oh, I've got to join.
Yes.
And our membership rejoining time starts April 1st.
Okay.
And so, if you join now, perfect.
Thursday.
You'd be ready for
You'd be right on target for the whole year. And there's a mystery trip that's coming up in June, and we cannot neglect to talk about that. So we've got some of the information there on the screen. You can't tell us much, right? Because it's a mystery.
Right. So what I can tell you is it's $125 if you are a member. Now here's the deal. If you're not a member, it's $145.
Okay.
So save $10, join the guild.
Yeah.
And pay $125 instead.
Yeah.
So we will leave the museum at 7 a.m. We'll be back at 7 p.m. It includes continental breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And that's all I can tell you
That's all
because
she can say.
I didn't plan this one, so I don't know where we're going.
Yep, but she's gonna step aside on that one.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
not tell you anything,
Yeah.
but notoriously a very fun experience.
Yes, and we have some spaces available.
Great.
I think it says on the website, if you go to our Facebook page, April 1st is the last day you can register.
That's Tuesday.
But if there's still space available after that, we'll take it. Yeah,
They'll let you in.
We have 56 spaces, so I mean altogether.
Okay, well, wonderful.
Yeah.
And if you want to join the Putnam Guild or simply just learn more about it, just visit the website on your screen, putnam.org/join-the-guild. Very easy to remember that one. Gail, a great job today. I can't imagine people wouldn't want to sign up and be part of something so amazing.
It's great. It really is fun.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, Morgan.
Of course. More fun coming up in our next half hour, including a visit from Wallace's for details on the upcoming Orchids 101 class set for this weekend, plus a closer look at Camp Courageous, a year-round recreational program for individuals of all ages with disabilities.
Hey, we had a pretty dreary start to the day, but hey, nice to see the sunshine out there. Temperature is pretty seasonable, generally in the low to mid 50s. We have warmer temperatures on tap later this week and a couple of chances of storms to tell you about, including the risk of a few stronger storms. We'll have all the details coming up in your First Alert forecast after the break.
Accurate and reliable. This is your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Kyle Keel.
Everywhere Camera Network showing just a few clouds. Otherwise, we do have some sunshine out there. A little bit of wind, though. So, you know, it's March. It's a windy month. It's the second windiest month. April, of course, coming in as the windiest. So we're not going to get rid of this wind anytime soon. So just kind of get used to it, I suppose. But we have those winds generally out of the northwest, anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. So it's adding a little chill in the air, but those temperatures are in the 50s. And it will be a cooler night tonight, but we'll call it seasonably cool with low temperatures dropping into the 30s. That's going to come with an increase in clouds and the chance for showers, maybe even a couple of rumbles of thunder here as we head into the evening and overnight hours. The sunshine will return, though, on Wednesday, so any of that rain gets out of here by daybreak. We'll have highs in the mid to upper 50s. Wind will generally be lighter here tomorrow. It picks up again as we head into Friday. Friday's going to feel almost summer-like. Wait until you see the temperature we have on the 7-day. But thunderstorm chances return before that, as we'll track a chance for storms here on Thursday and again here this weekend. So a lot of different aspects of the weather that we're tracking. We want to give you the update here on the severe weather risk. So on Thursday, this has changed a little bit. We're thinking that the higher threat of severe weather likely going to be south of the TV6 viewing area, but we'll just generally say south of I-80. Right now, the Storm Prediction Center does have a level 1 risk from near the Quad Cities and points off to the south. This would come Thursday afternoon into the evening, and if we do see any severe storms, the primary risk would be hail. Now, as we look at the extended outlook, going out to Saturday into Sunday, again, most of this is farther to the south now. So we're still going to keep that first alert day intact here for Saturday night, but some changes to this forecast includes the possibility that we're going to see the severe weather set up south of the viewing area. But during the day Saturday, we'll have temperatures in the 70s. We'll talk about those storms coming in late, possibly some of those turning severe. Again, the devil is in the details, and we'll get those in the days ahead. So just stay with KWQC for continued updates. Here's our next disturbance. It's going to continue to track off to the south here this evening. So while we have a clear sky right now, we are going to start to see those clouds increase here as we head into the evening hours, as temperatures will eventually drop down into the 40s. Now, it doesn't show up hour by hour, but we'll see just a couple of scattered showers here as we head into the evening and overnight hours. And you see that here with Exact Track. It's not going to be terribly widespread, but after 10 or 11 o'clock, we'll see those showers quickly move through the area. They're out of here by 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And hey, you wake up to some sunshine. We'll see sunshine throughout the day on Wednesday, kind of do a rinse and repeat Wednesday night with scattered showers moving through, along with that increase in clouds. Then by the time we get into the morning hours here on Thursday, could be talking about a few showers and thunderstorms, but most of the heavier rainfall will fall south of the KWQC viewing area with that threat of severe weather south of I-80 as we head into the afternoon and evening. So lots of weather to keep track of, but hey, check this out. We'll be close to 60 degrees here on Thursday, up to 80 on Friday. That comes as a dry day. We'll start seeing an increase in humidity, and it will be quite windy as well. And then we'll track that chance of rain here as we head Saturday into Sunday. So we'll keep you updated here on that first alert day. But behind that system here this weekend, Morgan, we will drop back down into the 40s here, which is below average early next week, but I think everyone's going to be looking forward to this 80 degrees here as we head on Friday. Good day to celebrate.
It is. I don't know if I've just not been paying any attention, which would be very much like me. I didn't know we were expecting 80 degrees on Friday. That's exciting.
That temperature has gone up each and every day this week, and today we're thinking because of the windy conditions, that southerly wind and that sunshine, we will have a good shot at getting 80 degrees.
80 degrees, amazing. But then we plummet. We plummet back down.
We'll plummet back down. Yep. Hey, it's March, right?
It absolutely is. All right, Kyle, thank you.
You're welcome.
Still to come on Quad Cities Live, expert advice on growing the best orchids. Wallace's is here with details on the Orchids 101 class set for this weekend.
You're watching Quad Cities Live.
When cared for properly, an orchid plant can bloom for years. While orchids do have a reputation for being somewhat difficult with the right knowledge, they can be surprisingly easy to care for. Take our word for it.
So they're a problem plant is what you're saying. Well, that's where Wallace's Garden Center comes in. Joining us now is Kate Terrell. Kate, welcome back to the show here. Always bringing us the knowledge that Morgan and I clearly need to keep our plants alive. But, you know, you're going to teach us a little bit about orchids today, and you're going to teach the community as well, because you have Orchids 101 happening this Saturday.
Yes, Orchids 101. So, like you said, orchids are, everybody loves them, right? Nobody thinks orchids are ugly. Everyone loves them. They're like, oh, I wish I could have them. I'm not good with plants. They have this like reputation of being difficult, fussy, mysterious, and so. But we have got this great sources in Hawaii that send us all these really cool orchids.
That is incredible.
These are all from Hawaii, from the Big Island, and but we wanted to let's just have a class to let people know they're not
so
scary.
afraid.
They're not hard to take care of, and they're really rewarding. Like you said, some orchids can bloom for years. The majority of orchids that we sell, you'll get 2 to 3 months of bloom out of them before then they'll rest and then they'll rebloom, a lot of them. So you can get tons and tons of color out of just one little plant if you kind of know what you're doing.
Well, I can't get over the different varieties that you brought with you today. I mean, I feel like I've only seen like one kind of orchid typically. That just like sounds so weird to say. Like, clearly I'm not a plant gal. I'm trying. I'm trying to be.
You don't have the green thumb.
I don't have the green thumb, but I see like the one in the middle.
This is a moth orchid, or Phalaenopsis. It's the most common.
Okay, that's why I've seen that one.
You'll see it in grocery stores. You'll see it in chain stores, partly because it tolerates lower light. So in our homes, especially in the winter, it can handle the more darkness that we have. And they're one of the easiest ones. They also bloom for like 3 months. So these flowers will stay on for at least a month, usually 6 to 8 weeks, and then you can see all the different buds that are coming. So when you factor that in, the weeks and weeks and weeks of bloom time make them super desirable. But there are actually over 28,000 types of orchids on the planet.
That's so crazy.
I'd like to know who came up with the fact that there's 28,000. That's a hard job.
Who counted those?
So there's lots of different types, and I don't even know all the names of these.
Sure,
there's also,
you're learning as well.
There's different names, and then there's hybrids between them, and so.
Oh gosh, they're beautiful.
And that's where our staff comes in and helping you find the right one for the conditions that you have. But a lot of them you probably have seen, just don't remember them. This is a vanilla orchid.
That's beautiful.
I wouldn't have even guessed that was an orchid.
Yes, that's a vanilla orchid. It's not blooming right now, but that's where we get our vanilla extract that we use in baking. Actually comes from an orchid. So.
Mind blown.
So yeah, there's lots and lots of different neat, really neat ones. Some of them are fragrant. This one in the front with the little flowers actually has a little bit of a chocolate smell to it. So when you smell the blooms, they're fragrant and they're really unique.
And so when it comes to taking care of them, we will also learn about some of these items, I'm assuming, at the Orchids 101 workshop.
So fertilizer, of course, is really, really important. And so we have a lot of different types of fertilizer that are easy to use. This one is a mist, which is great orchids because most of them come from tropical areas. They like humidity, and so they're used to the misting. The different types of moss that go into the soil, orchid roots. typically grow on trees, and so a lot of times in pots they grow in orchid bark.
Okay.
And so they'll talk about all those different types of things that make orchids just a little bit different than the house plants.
But once you learn them, it's like it'd be one thing just to go buy an orchid and then expect it to thrive. But this is why the class is perfect. I mean, it doesn't have to be that hard, but you just need to know what to do.
Right. I also always recommend the American Orchid Society, their webpage. Is got so much information on it, and if you're like someone that can't make the class, love to read, go on their website. You will answer every question you've ever had just from the American Orchid Society.
Well, yeah, tell us a little bit about the speaker that is going to be.
So his name is Dino Candace. We've known him for a long time. Years back, Wallace's used to host the Iowa Orchid Society's Orchid Show.
Okay.
So, and Dino is part of the Iowa Orchid Society, and he was their president. I'm not sure if he still is, but he
knows a thing or two.
Has a huge collection of his own, and so all of his knowledge is from experience of growing them. He's also a judge for orchid shows around the area, so he really knows like what makes a good orchid and what doesn't. But he has a lot of practical knowledge, and it's just you know, really interesting to listen to, and takes a lot of questions. So if you have a plant, feel free to bring it if you want help with it.
Okay,
and
that's a good idea.
And he'll be there, and then some of our staff as well.
Yeah,
he is. Yes.
Talk about some of these other plants that you brought here today. Are these in the orchid family?
They're in a separate family, but they're also, orchids are epiphytes, right? So they grow on trees.
Okay.
Right.
And bromeliads are, some of them are epiphytes as well. And so are air plants, which I have brought on the show before. So a lot of times the care and the fertilizers that apply for orchids, you can use on these other plants as well.
Well, these are the
beautiful
Easter cacti, right, that you brought?
The two in the front here, these are Easter cacti.
Nice
They're related to Christmas cactus.
This is the Christmas cactus. I got my holidays mixed up. Okay.
It won't be as fun when we really start knowing what we're talking about.
Eventually, this is all going to soak in for us.
Yeah, it won't be as fun to watch.
More often and help
they're
you
all
guys
beautiful,
out.
though. Yeah.
Yes, so they're related but very different. So we have Easter cactus right now blooming, and then a few of our Christmas cactus are confused on the time of year as well. So
Sure.
some of those are sprouting and budding right now.
Those are great. And then you have the air plants up front, which you were on the show relatively recently speaking about air plants.
With air plants, because they're super fun and different. Yeah. And orchids are also pet friendly. They are not toxic. So
thank you for saying that. Yeah.
The pet's really important, and they're also considered hypoallergenic because their pollen is not a pollen dust. It's actually like a sticky kind of pod. And so if you have pollen allergies, orchids are something to consider.
Well, that is just perfect. And the information, Orchids 101 is set for 10 a.m. on Saturday, March 29th. So that's this Saturday at Wallace's. Wallace's is located on Devil's Glen Road in Bettendorf. For any more information, just visit them on the web, wallacesgardencenter.com. Kate, always a good time. Thank you so much
and
for
it's
being
a free
here.
event, so no registration, no
You don't
payment.
even have to register.
Nope, you can just come
Pop in and
show up and learn about orchids.
Learn a thing or two.
Orchids from Hawaii. All right, well, coming up on QCL, a closer look at Camp Courageous, serving thousands of people with disabilities each and every year.
Tomorrow on Quad Cities Live, keep your child engaged all summer with hands-on camps hosted by Eastern Iowa Community Colleges. We'll learn more about the variety of opportunities.
And Quartz Botanicals is hosting a couple of fun upcoming workshops. We're going to get a preview along with details on a plant auction, all benefiting family resources. That much more tomorrow at 3, right here on Quad Cities Live. Providing year-round recreational, respite, and travel programs for individuals of all ages with disabilities. That's the mission of Camp Courageous in Monticello, Iowa.
Yes, and it's not just summer camp we're talking about. The nonprofit provides a variety of camps for individuals and families throughout the entire year. Joining us now is Camp Courageous Program Director Jamie Brennan. Jamie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Down.
Yes, we really appreciate it. You made a little trip down for sure today from Monticello. You came from camp. Camp Courageous has been around for a very long time. I believe more than 5 decades at this point.
Yes, founded in 1972 with a gifted 40 acres of land donated, I should say. And we just celebrated their 50th anniversary.
That's so exciting.
Yes.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more about why it all got started.
So it all gets started because families have children, and those children grow up as well to become adults who need a place to have a recreation, to have community, and to make connections socially and friends. It also gives families a break, what we call respite care.
Yeah.
So, you know, some families like mine grew up with a sibling with a disability, and it gives families a chance to make sure that their individual with a disability is having a good time while they connect and maintain relationships with the other family members.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of caring with, you know, with your family member who has a disability, that you sometimes forget, oh, I got to take care of myself too, and you want to make sure that you're doing okay with it as well. So I was reading that the first summer camp at Camp Courageous back in 1974 had more than 200 people, and now we're up to thousands and thousands of people all throughout the year.
Over 10,000
That's
per year.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's really, really, truly incredible. And right now we're seeing different photos of all the fun that folks are having at Camp Courageous. But talk a little bit about that. It looks to me like there are more than enough, a variety of activities and fun things to get involved in there.
So many that I couldn't name.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Archery, caving, high and low ropes, canoeing, arts and crafts, music, all kinds of sports recreation, swimming. There's an indoor pool as well as a therapy pool. We also have a train. I think it is a 16-gauge train, if I'm not wrong.
Really?
Oh,
yes.
okay.
That takes campers from place to place around camp and is fully accessible as well.
Wow.
Wow, so you have different camps that are held throughout the year. You know, like Morgan mentioned, I mean, this is more than just a summer camp. I mean, you have camps all year long.
We do. So there's many different programs. So we have week-long camp that happens in the winter, spring, fall, and summer.
Okay.
We have respite weekends that happen every other weekend throughout the year. And then a full travel camp that travels all over the world as well as all over the United States.
Really? How did that get started?
I think really it comes from a need for people to have an independent space to explore. You know, they vacation a lot with their families, which is fun, but at some point we all like to branch out on our own and have new experiences, you know. It provides an opportunity for them to like connect, make friends. They have travel buddies. It really emerged in the last, I would say, 20 or 30 years in camping. But Courageous, it emerged just from a need to keep serving, to do more and to do better for individuals with disabilities.
Yeah, and let's talk more about that. Who can attend Camp Courageous? I mean, we've spoken about a wide variety of ages and folks with disabilities. It's very inclusive.
Yes, yes. So we don't even, the amount of campers served is astronomical, but our oldest camper at one time was 105 years old.
Really?
Yes, so there's really no limit to being at camp as long as you're safe to be there. You know, we all have things that happen in our lives when we get older, and you know, we don't vacation as much, and that can happen for some, but campers of all ages and abilities come to us, and we like to group them in social groupings where they can make friends and do activities that they might not be able to do in their regular life, because everything at Courageous is fully accessible.
Yes. Oh, I just love that.
Yes, and it's much more than camp that you guys do. You have some fun upcoming events that we want to talk about. So get your calendars out because we're looking ahead at some of these. But the first one we want to talk about is an omelet breakfast coming up in April.
Yes. Yes, last Sunday in April. We have lots of volunteers. There is just a line of omelet stations.
That sounds really good.
So, and I'm sure there are many mix-ins, which is the part I'm looking forward to the most. And really just the whole community comes out to support events like that.
That's great.
The omelet breakfast is a big one. I love it. You know, there's a lot of waffle breakfasts. Yep. But I like a good omelet breakfast for a change.
And all of this is to raise money, right?
I like the
Yes, it is. Raise money for camp.
Yeah, so you mentioned the waffle breakfast that's coming up. Is that September, right?
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, the fourth Sunday in September.
Fourth Sunday in September. And as you said, all of it raises money for camp because camp is not funded federally. It is not funded by the government. It's all, you know, it's funded through donation.
Wow.
So camp is that makes it even more inclusive because camp is for everyone. No camper is ever turned away.
Wow, that's amazing. Also, Cruisin' for Camp is coming up in May.
Yes, yes.
And so what is Cruisin' for Camp all about?
It's sort of like one of those sort of car shows that you can go to.
Okay.
And everybody's got
that
their
would
car
draw a lot of people.
Everyone loves a good car show.
Yes, yes. So, you know, there's a lot of community there. That really brings in a lot of the community. Camp is very rooted in Iowa.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Oh, I love it. Yeah,
Most definitely.
great.
And then Pineapple Gala coming up third Friday in August, so you want to mark your calendars.
Yeah,
and
lots of fun
you
stuff.
can look at all of the events happening at campcourageous.org. That's also where you can go donate to the nonprofit as well, because as Jamie mentioned, not federally funded, so they really rely on those donations for the 10,000 campers that they get each year.
Yeah.
Jamie, thanks again for joining us today. Thanks for being on the show.
Great job. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching.
Your local news at 4 with Sharon is coming up next. Have a great evening.